everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started. So tonight is one of the first nights in our Increase series where we're going to have different people come talk about different topics. And tonight it's about health and fitness. And I'm super excited to hear what Daniel and Tara have to say, because I think hands down they're probably the most healthy people in our church. But not only that, like this is your lifestyle. This is what's important to you. And so I know for me, I'm super excited to learn and get more information on how to really establish a life that is full of health and how to incorporate fitness in a way that's effective and it helps you to be able to do more for God. So I'm excited. Daniel and Tara, just go right on.
Thank you all. Thank you all for coming. As you guys know, that this is on two levels very, very important to us. It's pretty much our life. Between health, fitness, and learning more and sharing more about God and how those intertwine. As far as a healthy body, a healthy spirit, they intertwine perfectly as they should. And one struggles to excel over the other. And that's some of the things that I want to talk about today. And that is what I would call my lifestyle. It's not so much one or the other. It's about learning how to be strong on both sides. So, number one, so what I want to do is I want to talk about the basics. I'm not going to get too far into any super scientific stuff. For a lot of you guys out there, this might be brand new. For some, this might be common knowledge. For some, it's just extended knowledge. But these are just going to be the basics of living a healthy lifestyle. And also, subsequently, some of the things I do when I get ready for a bodybuilding show, or I just decide, you know what, I was kind of careless over the few months. It's time to kind of get some of this flab off. I think we all kind of did that a little bit through COVID, as we all didn't know what to. I know how to live through that, really. So I've got 7 major topics to me that are the basics and should be what's the fundamentals of living a healthy lifestyle, as well as treating your body and getting your body running and performing as optimal as it should. And it was designed to, the way God designed it. So number 1 is fasted cardio. And I think, yep. We're up there already. Awesome. That's cool. You guys are awesome. So what is that? It might sound intimidating, but it's not. And I have a couple notes here. I'm going to read a little bit, and I'll throw my own spin to it. But fasted cardio refers to the cardiorespiratory exercise performed in a fasted state. And a fasted state is when you have completely digested or absorbed your last meal or snack. Usually takes about 8 to 12 hours for all of that to be digested and processed, and where your insulin levels are at low, or at least your genetic baseline. So that's what a fasted state is. Typically, first thing in the morning. That way we don't have to, starve for too long, or, if you're doing it if you're doing it later in the evening, it's very hard to get into a fasted state. It means you have to not eat for numerous hours of the day. In my opinion, that's not the best way to go about it. So for me, it's first thing in the morning. And I say this all the time in the same way, and Tara laughs, but most of you guys probably assume when I say doing cardio in the morning, there's a picture of Daniel running uphill on the treadmill.
Daniel doesn't run.
With a weighted vest, dragging dumbbells and just dying. Absolutely not. What we're gonna use science, chemistry, and mechanics of the human body to get what we want with the least bit of effort, and it doesn't have to be difficult. So what I'm talking about is exactly what I do. Is I walk my normal pace of walking, whatever your normal pace of walking is, for 30 minutes. That is enough to get the heart rate up, stimulate the metabolism. And get everything going for the day, getting blood circulating through the body, getting the gut ready, the brain ready, the muscles ready for the day. So,
and I would like to add, if you don't have a treadmill or you don't have a gym membership, you can walk outside, you can walk around your house, you can take laps. It doesn't matter what you do. And if you can't do it first thing in the morning, if you're getting like 30 minutes of physical activity a day, doing something, that's going to help. Fasted cardio is if you, of course, want to rev up your metabolism, and if you're trying to lose weight, that is definitely a must.
And so I'll add one more thing in here just to emphasize what it is. And it's once the body has stopped processing and breaking down food, your insulin levels are low, and there's no fuel or glycogen circulating in your blood. As a result, your body has to turn another source of energy, usually fat, to power through your workout. So you guys follow me on there. And keep in mind a couple of the topics we have right now, because after this, we're going to open up for a Q&A. That way, if you have any questions, to me, it's not very beneficial if I just hit you with information and say goodbye. So we're going to get through this pretty quickly, and then you guys can ask any questions or any advice on how to apply what we just said, to your daily routine. So that is that on fasted cardio and getting workouts done, and why it's important to do this in a fasted state. Like I said, it's not necessary, but it's just one little tiny thing we can do that actually, it says studies have found that exercising in this fasted state burns 20% more fat compared to exercising on a fuel tank, a full tank, meaning full of glycogen and carbohydrates and food. So any little bit you can get, in a busy lifestyle, I think is extremely beneficial. And it works for me and a lot of other folks that I know. If there's anything you want to add to that? No.
It's good.
So the next thing is at least 5 meals per day, and why? I'm going to be really honest. I'm going to tell you, it's easy and it's hard in the beginning. It's easy because it's really 3 square meals a day and 2 snacks.
But how many of you get less than that? Or how many of you only eat like once or twice a day? Yeah, so when you do that, you guys, your body is holding on to everything that you feed it because it doesn't know when you're going to eat again. So it's just going to hold everything. I used to do the same thing. I would wait or only eat like 2 times a day, and I was like busy all day, and then I'd eat lunch, and then I'd eat dinner. That's the worst. Like, you have to eat in the morning especially, and then taper down throughout the day. So,
and a couple of notes here that gives just some specifics on it. Small meals are aid in satisfying the appetite, stabilizing blood sugar levels, and providing nutrients to the body throughout the day. Those 3 things are really, really important, especially the blood sugar levels, and I'm going to get to that here in just a minute. Smaller, more frequent meals in your daily eating patterns also aid in more efficient metabolism compared to a slow metabolism when meals are skipped. And again, y'all take that in the notes and think about that. You can ask me more questions on that. But I will add one thing on that right now, and that's there's only one way to stimulate your metabolism. And I don't know if metabolism is the mechanism on which you burn food for fuel, for energy, and expenditure. The only way to stimulate it doesn't just happen on your normal sleep and wake cycles. If you've read that, and I have read it, that's a myth. That is not accurate whatsoever. The way to stimulate metabolism is by making the metabolism work, which means we have to get something in the stomach that turns all the mechanisms on. That's the only way. So that's really the old school way. They had the root of this was efficient and was accurate, right? The most important meal of the day being breakfast. They just didn't tell you why. That's the reason why. So digesting a meal raises the metabolism slightly, and in this phenomenon is known as the thermic effect of food. And I don't know, I'm not going to get into science, but the thermic effect goes with the whole how the earth works and sun, how plants grow, all that kind of stuff. Same thing in the human body. So you will find that you're not starving or be tempted to eat whatever is around you, like junk food. Why? Because one, if you're eating every couple hours a day, especially in the beginning, it's a little tough. So you're definitely not going to be hungry and reaching for whatever is laying around. So that's just a simple tool, another way.
Mm-hmm. And I think to help you prepare for that, if you can meal prep and have some food ready, I don't know about y'all, but I know when I get starving, I'm grabbing whatever. And normally it's something in a package, like a protein bar or fruit or something like that. But most people grab for junk food because it's the easiest thing to eat. It's hard to, like when you're starving, to say, oh, I'm going to cook a healthy meal. That's not going to happen. But if you meal prep and you have it ready, that's really going to help you get in all your meals too.
Reminds me, don't go grocery shopping hungry. A couple of other things I had in here. This eating pattern promises to decrease bloating. I think a lot of people, that's a undisclosed issue that we can all tend to have. So it's going to help decrease bloating, and as well as some other symptoms. And that'll also help you come to the total caloric intake for the day, meaning you can kind of monitor this when you do 5 meals a day or so. It's easier to figure out, hey, I ate 2,000 calories a day. I don't think I'm going to go over that or what. It's easier to maintain. And that way you're in control. You're in that driver's seat of what you're giving yourself, because we're all different. So
I think it'll help you not to overeat too, because I know when I get starving, I like eat so fast, and then you're like, oh my God, I shouldn't have done that.
There was a neat thing in here I threw in for a couple specific folks. I was hoping they were going to be here, but I hope they get a chance to watch this when we're done. But eating these 5 meals a day, it says it's also indicated and suggested for post-surgery for many gastrointestinal procedures. It says including bariatric surgery, Whipple. I'm not even sure what that is, but some of you guys might. But to accommodate calories without any abdominal distension or discomfort. So of course, that just allows you to eat smaller meals. We're not overeating. You get that distension. There's a lot of problems that come along with that we don't realize. And one of them is because we can see and monitor the effects, what we can see and feel with the outside of our skin, but we don't have a clue what's actually happening is the mechanisms on the inside of our body. And the only way to really do that is to use trial and error. Try these things, see how you feel without discrediting them or anything like that. So that was one neat little thing I thought in here, because I know a lot of people that I talk with, work with, family members, friends, they have, bloating issues, gassy issues, things like that. You guys can ask me any questions on that. And yeah, I brought that up. That's something people don't like to talk about, but it's something we all deal with as human beings. It's a natural process, but it does not, hear me, it does not have to rule or control or be a negative in our life. So the next one is a little bit longer of a topic because I feel it's the most important.
And he's going to get scientific.
It's important. I'm going to paint some pictures, but I feel it's important. It's no sugar. So this is number 3 on the list of things that I do and I suggest are living a healthy lifestyle, losing body fat, and just getting your body in optimal performance. An excess of sweetened foods and beverages can lead to weight gain, we know that, and blood sugar problems, and an increase of heart disease, among other dangerous conditions. I threw this in here because a lot of us, we have children, and I was affected by this personally. It says, are you addicted to sugar? As a kid, you were warned about alcohol and drugs, but no one ever cautioned us against the addictive dangers and health detriments of a high sugar diet. And we used that word addiction. It's no exaggeration whatsoever. According to a 2016 study I threw in here, the increased sugar consumption has been shown to repeatedly elevate dopamine levels in the brain. Exactly similar to drug abuse.
So when you have a little piece of candy, it triggers that happy feeling in your brain, and then you want more, and then you want more, and then you want more. And you'll notice when you cut sugar out, how much you don't crave it anymore. Like it just eventually just goes away.
So that's real science. So the effects of added sugar intake is higher blood sugar, inflammation in the body, weight gain, diabetes, and a fatty liver. We can get into things like that afterwards. And they're all associated to high risk for heart attack and strokes. I think most of you guys in here, I know somewhat personally, we all have family members close to us that have dealt with that. Oh yes. They're also, this is really important, they're also very poor energy source. It's another lie that we were told that, you need an energy boost, let's have a little sugar, let's have a soda.
You might go up, but you're going to come crashing down even further than you were before.
This is important. And so the body digests sugar very quickly, and I'm going to touch on that in detail in just a second. But sugar is an empty calorie. It means it carries no nutritional value whatsoever at all. All it is just adding to your calories per day, which leads to many other things, like I said, we can get into. This is adding it to foods and drinks and significantly increases the calorie content without adding any nutritional benefit. Again, significant risk is consuming excess sugar, weight gain, we know that. Suggests that sugar can affect the biological pathways that regulate hunger. Now listen, leptin is the hormone. Leptin is the hormone that regulates hunger by determining how much energy the body needs. So disrupting the leptin function will lead to weight gain and obesity. That's because you are interfering with the signaling of the brain to tell you that you're full. Very, very important. It says that a study revealed that a high fat and sugar diet led to leptin resistance. That's bad. That's terrible. That means it doesn't even work at all. It won't tell you if you're full. You just keep eating. Yeah. And then think, if you add sugar to that, you're eating calories that don't even have any benefit whatsoever. You can't even really use them. So it says leptin resistance occurs when the body no longer responds to leptin. The study of the authors found that by removing sugar from the diet, however, did reverse the leptin resistance. So this can be fixed. But a lot of us walk around daily with this issue.
And there's a lot of different foods that have added sugar in them, even like spaghetti sauce. You would be surprised how much sugar is in that and how much sugar is in ketchup and barbecue sauce and things like that. But there are healthy alternatives that cut out the sugar and salt and a lot of that stuff, and they taste the same. So be cautious when you're grocery shopping. Look at your labels, see how much sugar is in it. And what about I know regular sugar is bad, but what about sugar from fruit?
I'm gonna actually get into that. It's just another little section
page
here.
away.
Yeah, not too far away. Yeah, but that's good. So food manufacturers, they add chemically produced sugar, typically in the form of high fructose corn syrup, to I'm gonna say all foods, but most foods and beverages, including crackers, yogurt, tomato sauce, salad dressing, and ready for this? Low food fats. The ones that are labeled low fat foods are the worst because manufacturers use sugar to flavor them up so you like them.
Isn't that sad? That's such a lie. You think you're eating healthy, and you're really not.
So here's a neat one. 15-year studies suggest that people with added sugar in their diet are significantly more likely to die of heart disease than people with minimal amounts of sugar. It was a 15-year-long study. I like that one. I don't really follow the studies where they took one group and one placebo group and did a 6-month study. That's not good enough for me. This one says a lot, a 15-year study. So some of the examples when you're looking at a label for sugar would be dextrose, sucrose, agave nectar, maltose, molasses, honey, high fructose corn syrup, a corn sweetener, cysteine fructose, and evaporated cane juice. Those are all those crazy things that we try to ignore in those long list of ingredients and all there.
So what can they use if they're going to drink tea or coffee or what kind of sweetener would be good?
There's one sweetener that is proven to be the best that seems to not stimulate insulin release. So the body doesn't quite recognize it as sugar. However, it does have a sweet taste to it, and that's the all-known Splenda. A lot of the other ones come with the different maltodextrin and things like that. You have to be careful of those because that actually the body recognizes that as super sweet and stimulates insulin response. Again, for no good reason. So in your liver, the abundance of sugar likely comes from fructose or high fructose corn syrup. Fructose is processed in the liver in large amounts. In large amounts can damage the liver. When fructose is broken down in the liver, it's transformed into fat directly. So I know that we all talk about fruits being good for us, and they are. And I'm going to tell you why. They are because, one, they're a natural form of sugar that the body recognizes, number one. And number two, it comes along with a high degree of fiber. Fiber slows down the process of sugar, the digestion of sugar, so that the body can regulate it and figure out, okay, I need this amount of much, I need this much, I don't need that. It has time. It has time to figure out what it can and can't do. So simple sugars are too fast for your brain. Too fast for the brain to even recognize. When the body consumes protein, the brain releases a hormone to signal that the stomach is full. You feel full and you stop eating. Simple sugars and processed carbohydrates circumvent the natural process of feeling full. When the body consumes simple sugars, the food is absorbed quickly in only the first 2 feet of your intestines. And that happens so fast that the brain doesn't have enough time to tell your body that it's full. Remember, it interfered with that leptin response. And now, okay, double ways, double two fashion, not only did it interfere with that leptin response to tell you it's too full, it absorbed into the body before the body could even recognize it. So unless, and this is from my personal experience here, unless you're physically running while you're working out, or you've immediately worked out and had these simple sugars, you will store them as fat.
It's good to know.
Like I said, this one was a little bit, this was a little bit longer because I felt it was really important. And forgive me, but I'm doing it anyway. So again, all of that results in eating more food than your body actually needs, and you have way too much sugar in your bloodstream. When that happens, hyperglycemia occurs, and that's when there's too much sugar in the blood. This damages arteries, promotes the development of arterial plaques. Hyperglycemia also increases the risk of plaque in your vessel walls, which results in a heart attack or stroke. We are all familiar. The reason I put this in here is we're all so familiar with hearing about good fats, bad fats. When you talk about plaque in the arteries and the heart, most people go directly to fats. Don't even talk about sugar. Big mistake. High blood sugar ages the blood vessels and over time can shrink the brain, damage vision and nerves, increase developing of depression and Alzheimer. When they talk about damaging the nerves and vision, what happens is you have receptors in all over your body, and everything that you intake is designed to go to certain receptors to turn things on and off, including everything from hormones to everything, your metabolic rate, all of it. When you have so much sugar in your blood all the time, it's constantly sticking to those receptors and those nerves. And over time, it literally blocks them and burns them, if you can imagine. It literally, what's the word I'm looking for? Sears them is the word I'm looking for, and damage them forever. Now when you have people that are diabetic and they have nerve issues, that's what's happened. I don't know if you guys have anyone that was seriously diabetic complain about nerve issues in their feet and hand and extremities. Mm-hmm. That was from the long time abuse of sugar just being in the bloodstream that was never used. An increase of sugar consumption causes the pancreas to release more insulin, okay, also known as the fat storage hormone, insulin. Over time, an accumulation of fat changes the hormonal signaling, and the body begins to ignore the insulin. This condition is called insulin resistance. I have just now, for the first time in my 40 years of life, been seeing commercials and advertisements for insulin resistance. Have you guys been noticing those lately? So I'm going to say that again. Insulin is the fat storage hormone. That's what tells your body what to do with the sugar and what to do, how to use it. And if it can't use it, it stores it as fat. And that's why they call it the fat storage hormone. So over time, when you have too much of this, it begins to ignore insulin and you become insulin resistant. When the body stops recognizing insulin, the more sugar accumulates in the blood. So, right? Insulin is what carries the sugar all through the body and tells it what to do. When you don't have enough insulin, because you're insulin resistant, you now have a ton of sugar that just stays floating around the blood. This causes the pancreas to release even more insulin. And so now, after this process, you now have too much sugar and too much insulin. That's called diabetes. So I hope I was able, and you guys can ask me detailed questions. That's how diabetes happens. That's the function and the process on how that happens in the body. So I hope that helps a little bit of understanding where outside sugar sources cause many, many issues, and a lot of those very common issues.
Mm-hmm. And I think there's so many restaurants and, sugars in everything. You go to Starbucks, I can't even imagine how much sugar is in one drink. Or sweet tea. Hello, does anybody here like sweet tea? Loaded. Like, we don't think about those things. We're like, oh, it's just tea. But if you were really to log how, in MyFitnessPal, your foods to see how much sugar you're getting, you would be probably mind blown. Okay. Are we moving on?
So, yeah, the final thing I just had on here was, let's just say that too much sugar in the bloodstream is something you don't want. Now, it has its purpose, okay? But the purpose of it is so minute and has to be used so specifically.
Like right before a workout or right after?
Yeah, but that's something that we can talk about, in detail, because every person's going to be a little bit different. But if there ever was a use, it would be in that 1 hour increment of time of life.
Daniel's pretty strict. You're pretty tough, Daniel.
It's important. It's important. It really is. So the next one, moving on from sugar, so thank you for being patient with that. Again, I thought it was really, really important to break that down a little bit. The next one is on the list of basics, no fried food. This is short and to the point. Deep frying food is a common practice everywhere in the world. It's inexpensive and a fast way to prepare food. We all know that. It's easy, it's quick, it's cheap.
Tastes good.
Yeah, but universally around the world, it's acknowledged as incredibly unhealthy. So it says, but how exactly is fried food so bad for you? For one, they have a lot of dense calories. So again, I won't go into the science of what makes up a calorie, but I'll use a description. If one carb had 5 calories and one protein had 3.5 calories, the oils from frying food has about 15. So you can see the huge difference. So when you compare deep frying to other methods of cooking, it adds quite a few calories. That's because the fried food normally, one is coated in flour or some sort of batter before it's fried, and the oil replaces the natural water in the foods as it's cooked. So it extracts the good water out of it and literally stores the fat within the food. So this one thing I got to share. I think I told you this during Thanksgiving. One thing that just irks me. I mean irks me. When frying turkeys, when I moved to Texas, frying turkeys was like a big thing. I've never heard about it before. Do you know how many Texans told me that it's healthier? Because when they fry it, it instantly sears the skin and the fat can't actually penetrate it, and it just cooks it better, and all the fat stays on the outside? What? Your muscle's like a sponge. That's all it is. They're big muscle. Turkey breast, whatever. That idea, please don't ever listen to that one, ever. So here's a good example. I didn't even know I put this one in here. So a regular baked potato contains about 90 calories and no fat. The same quantity of potato, once it's fried, contains 320 calories and 17 grams of fat.
But instead of frying it, you could bake it. You could air fry it. Like, there's a lot of other options. If you like that crispy, crunchy, get an air fryer.
Yeah, and I actually had some alternative things in here. So that's good.
Again on the next page.
Yeah,
Sorry.
no, you're good. You're good. She knows her stuff as well. So trans fats are formed when unsaturated fats experience what's called hydrogenation. And that's pretty much, in simple terms, I'm going to skip all that for you. That's pretty much when these oils and these fats are heated at extreme high temperatures. It becomes more saturated with hydrogen, and that's what combines and compacts all these calories together, if that makes sense. Yeah, trans fats are tough for your body to break down. That's another one. That's big harmful effects on the body, with going along with the other fat stuff we should be knowing about: heart disease, obesity, diabetes, and some sorts of cancer. The body just doesn't want to break it down. It's so thick, it's so hard. It would be like swimming, for example, like painting pictures. That's how my brain works. The difference between like eating healthy is your body swimming through water. Eating a ton of fat and all that kind of stuff, it's so dredging hard for your body to break down. It's like swimming through quicksand or mud, if that. It's so hard on your system. The body doesn't want to break it down. It takes hours. It just messes everything up. It's like throwing a wrench into a cog of wheels. It just messes everything up. But it tastes good. So, again, there are some other methods that you can use with technology that's come around. You can use other oils like avocado oil and coconut oil. Still, like, not absolutely the best, but if you were to take a better option, I know avocado is a good fat for you. I use that when I go on a small duration. If you guys hear me, small durations of the keto diet. I'm not an advocate of long-term keto, but my main source of fats are avocado and almonds. So avocado oil is one, and again, coconut oil. Other ways of cooking, like Tara said, were air frying and oven frying. Just baking at higher temperatures would be oven frying. I had to look that up, actually, just so that they kind of sear and get crispy on the outside. Wait. Yeah, okay. And I didn't do the rest in notes. I'm going to talk off my head for the next one. The next one, basic, is water. Key fundamental of living healthy. Water does a couple things. Number one, if you have anything you want to add to that, you can, because I know you love your water. And she does all kinds of neat little things in it to keep minerals in the water. But just like the earth, your body is 70-75% water. No quinkety-dink there. Water is in your brain. It's in every tissue and every cell in your body. Most of the cells in your body are water. So without getting into too much detail for this evening, if you're dehydrated and your cells are dehydrated, and when I mean your cells, I mean your kidneys, your liver, your heart, your lungs, your brain. I'm not just talking about your muscles, all of it. They don't work properly. They're struggling. It's like living on not enough oxygen. It doesn't work.
So how much should the average person get in ounces a day?
Minimum would be half your body weight in ounces. So if you weighed 100 pounds, you drink 50 ounces. 200 pounds, you drink 100 ounces. That's minimum. Anything more than that would be even better.
Yep. And if you don't, like a lot of people are like, oh, I hate water. It's so boring. You can put lemon in it. That actually helps so many things. It helps your skin. It keeps you hydrated. It helps burn fat. It tastes better. So I use lemon and lime in my water every day. If you want to stay hydrated while you're working out, put pink Himalayan salt, just like a little bit of pink salt in your water, and that actually helps to like flush the water all through your body. It helps to keep you hydrated. We have a product in Thrive that, Mom, I ordered that for you. That it has the same stuff in it though, so I thought that was really cool.
So I want to add one thing
Neo.
on there. Well, I want to add one thing on there when she's talking about salt. So for you guys out there that take or are familiar with like just medications in general, most things in your body have to have what's called a carrier. Typically, they don't get put in your body and it knows what to do. You have to have another signaling mechanism to carry it to where it wants to go. So you remember when I was talking about how insulin is the carrier for glycogen or sugar? Otherwise, without insulin, like I said, it doesn't know what to do. It has to be told what to do. Salt, sodium, do not be afraid of it. it's very important. Sodium is the carrier and the teller of what to do for water, okay?
But use like pink Himalayan salt. That has 84 minerals in it. Regular table salt is terrible for you. It has nothing, no value. Don't use that. Use the like Himalayan salt. That's got a lot of minerals in it.
Yeah, so I'm going to give you an example and paint a picture. If you had no sodium or good minerals, sodium, potassium, things like that, again, those are the carriers. If you did not have those stored in your body, you would drink water and it would just go right through you. It would not go into the body, store into the brain, the muscles, and all the cells. It's the sodium that tells the water, say, hey, we need water over here. I need you to come over here. I need you to stay here for a little while.
And you talked about potassium. You can also put cream of tartar. I know that sounds weird, but the spice cream of tartar. So I said that one time, and the guy in the gym was like tartar sauce? No, not tartar sauce in your water. But if you put just a little bit of cream of tartar, that is loaded with potassium. So I put that and the pink Himalayan salt in my water. You cannot taste it. It doesn't taste like anything. Add some lemon, and it's really good.
So water and minerals are incredibly important. They go hand in hand, and they must go together. I'm not telling you every day you need to drink water with Himalayan sea salt in it, but what I am saying is you want to maintain a good mineral balance in your body. When I say having your vitamins and minerals and trace elements, it's important. It's so much more important to the inside of your body than you would ever think if you didn't know that. So people are like, oh, I take my vitamins, I'm good. I hope so. No. There's no other way. No, I was looking on the inside of my body. I wasn't doing that. But that's the only way. No, really, we don't have Superman vision. We can't see and make sure that everything's hydrated. We have to go by feel. One of the quick notifications will be cramping. If you guys cramp often, you are seriously mineral deprived, okay? That's the answer. That's what it is.
You cramp, Mom? You need potassium. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I'm going to get you some cream tartar.
Yeah, I start that immediately. Good. So that's enough on water. Drink it. Water is life.
That was a famous quote from my dad. Water's life.
Yeah. Second to the last is ready. This one you might not like, but I'm going to explain its importance. No carbohydrates after 7 p.m. if you have a normal day-to-day schedule. That doesn't go for people that work night shifts and whatnot. Food is I used to have a neat little thing for it, but I can't think of it, like the triple Fs or something. Follow the triple Fs. But food is for fuel, not for fun. Okay? Therefore, my rule and my understanding of how the body works, what I've used on myself and in clients as well, is no carbohydrates after 7 p.m. Throughout the day, you should have had at least your 4 meals already. Okay? You should have gotten your carbohydrates, your minerals, and all that kind of stuff in there, and proteins in there. Typically 7, 8, 9, 10 o'clock. Most people, whether they're awake, they're kind of lounging. They might be on the computer, the office, the phone, but they're not in any exerted, they're not working out. They're not like running laps, and they're not at work doing something. So you typically you will have enough carbohydrates and enough energy for you throughout the day. You don't want to have high blood sugar and a lot of glycogen running through your body when you're sleeping. The body has no way to use it. Your body goes into the sleep cycle, which is your recover state. It's not going to be using it for energy. Therefore, this is all I say this, that there's a chance. There's a really good chance. Nothing is for certain in the human body. Everyone's different, and we all have different genetics. But you have like a 90% greater chance to store that glycogen in your blood while you're sleeping as fat. So you just want to eliminate that opportunity.
And by carbs, you mean like rice, potatoes, bread, stuff like that. We're not talking about vegetables. You can eat your broccoli, eat your green beans. Those kind of carbs are fine. But as far as
my late evening meals are protein and vegetables. And if I'm not hungry, I know it's important. I literally just eat 6 ounces of meat and call it done.
Not me. I don't do that.
Yeah. Or a protein shake. So, but again, there's just no use for the carbs whatsoever. There's just no use for them. So the last one here is simple. And I shared this with my mom not too long ago. And this should ring a bell for all of you, but it's ever so simple. Eat foods that your body like, not what you like. Okay, and I'm gonna break that down just a little bit. When I talked about bloating and dystension and all that kind of discomfort. That is your body telling you that I don't like this. I cannot break it down easily. I can't use it properly, and I'm struggling in here. I need help. We don't have enough. That means we have one or two things going on. One, you're genetically not meant to eat it, meaning how some people have some food allergies and whatnot. Or two, you need a checkup on your gut health.
That is so important. Your gut is your body's second brain. If you don't have a good gut health, then you're not absorbing the nutrients from your food. You're not absorbing the nutrients from your vitamins, whatever you take. That's very, very important for everything, for your sleep, for your metabolism, for depression, anxiety. Like all kinds of health issues stem from your gut health. I did not know that, and I was mind blown when I actually learned about it.
So this one, be patient with yourself. This is a lifelong journey, this one here. This one I wouldn't expect me, you, or anyone else listening to this, I wouldn't expect you to figure this out in a week, a month, maybe even a year. Because what you need to do is, the only way to really figure this out and take it seriously is document it. I'm not saying become a scientist or a researcher, but what I'm saying is, as you go out to eat and you had a meal, and you're like, man, I just don't feel good. Write it down, put it in your notes, make a mental log, something. And then over time, you should have a checklist of foods that your body just doesn't agree with. And I'm going to say this, it sucks, but give it a try a couple times. If this happens every time, you need to be responsible and just cut it out. Your body doesn't like it. And it's causing more havoc than you can recognize, other than just having an uncomfortable stomach or a little bit of gas. So think of that, document that stuff. I remember it was about 2 years ago, I randomly, somehow, miraculously became lactose intolerant. My whole life I've been eating ice cream, cereal, and just one day it made my stomach hurt. I tried it again. It made my stomach hurt. And finally, I'm like, I'm not gonna lie here, probably after 15 times, I'm like, man, I
guess I'll give that up.
I can't eat this. And to be honest, I'm a little sad, but I don't do it now because that sucks. I found some other alternatives. So that's it. So the 5 fundamentals, guys, was get some cardio in. Yeah, get some cardio in when you're in a fasted state where there's no glycogen, no food in your body, or no carbohydrates. Eat at least 5 meals a day. Cut out the sugar, cut out the fried food. Drink enough water. Don't eat carbs after 7. And monitor what you're eating to make sure your body is digesting it properly. Those 7 things are the fundamentals of starting your journeys, the fundamentals that I began, like I said when I started this, the fundamentals of prepping for a bodybuilding show and wanting to be in control of my body. Doing what I do, I have to be on the driver's seat. I cannot guess. We have limited time, and I have to show up in the best condition I want to on a certain date at a certain time. So everything has to be, tracked, and I need to make sure I know, what I'm doing. So there's no messing up.
And I don't go to that extreme, but I will say when I started making these small changes every day, I feel so much better. Like I feel like I have more energy through the day. I'm more present with my family. I'm sleeping better, which that's another huge thing that you need to make sure you're getting enough sleep for your recovery and everything. But you'll just feel better. And it might take some time. This is a journey. It's not going to happen overnight, but definitely just a couple things that you can add to help yourself feel better. So.
Just before I open up for questions, I have found a few scriptures that even mention, how important it is taking care of our body. A lot of the times it gets a little overlooked. But I found a few, even from a long time ago, where they even knew the importance of a healthy body. And one of them was 1 Corinthians 6:19 through 20. Do you not know that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit within you, And whom have you from God? You are not your own. You were bought with a price. So glorify God with your body. That one means a lot. That is 1 Corinthians 6, 19 and 20. Next was John 3, 1 and 2. Beloved, I pray that all may go with you, and that you all may be in good health as it goes well with your soul. John even knew what he was talking about when it came to that. That one is John, 3 John 1 and 2. Romans 12:1. Therefore I urge you, brothers and sisters, in view of God's mercy, to offer your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God. This is your true and proper worship. And that can be kind of probably seen in different ways. When I've read it numerous times, when I talk about living, using my body as a sacrifice, for me it was not eating the junk food, not being tempted, all the time. That literally, that my body, along with my spirit, my mouth, and my brain, all of me is to worship and to say thank you, as we were bought with a price. Daniel 1:15. At the end of 10 days, it was seen that they were better in appearance and fatter in flesh than all the youths who ate the king's food. So the steward took away their food and their wine to drink and gave them vegetables. Yeah. I thought that was neat too, because if you read history and you read and understand of different times, the Romans and Greeks right there, they celebrated life with food. And at least the pictures painted to them, they were all pretty unhealthy. So that was one, and I got one more. And again, like I said, these were just a few here that I found. But 1 Peter 2:11, beloved, I urge you, as sojourners and exiles, to abstain from the passions of food and flesh, which wage war against your soul. Another one, I'm like, man, take that as is, but that one hit a little home for me personally, so I thought I wanted to share it with you guys. So again, even way back when they were talking about seemingly, just our spirit, they even make many references to how important our health is. So with that, anybody that has any questions about anything, it doesn't even have to be really on the 7 kind of topics we talked about, but anything with general health, wellness, while you've got us. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. So what I would say to that is, being diabetic, the most important thing you can do for your health is controlling your blood sugar. So if you find that controls your blood sugar, then, like I said, everyone's different. Then again, that takes priority over a fasted cardio, because you're getting a better health out of having regulated blood sugar than anything else.
And fasted cardio too is if you're wanting to lose weight, especially to do fasted cardio, because you don't have anything in your system and your body has no other choice but to burn stored fat. If you can't work out first thing in the morning, or you don't want to lose weight, just getting some kind of activity through the day, 30 minutes, an hour, whatever you can. If you're just doing something, go for a walk, go for a jog, walk up and down your stairs, it doesn't matter. Just do something to get your heart rate elevated. Good question.
Yep, Jackie. Yeah. So when I was saying this, like I said in the beginning, it's going to be hard. And every time I switch gears with my goals, getting those many meals in, because I do like 6, 7, 8 meals a day, it is tough for about 10 to 14 days. But this thing I will promise you is one, to answer both questions. One, the first question is start off with just something small, something that might be even 100 calories.
It can be an apple, some almonds, some
Whatever,
just something small.
I have found that 150 calories, be it something, be very small, is enough to stimulate the metabolism. And that's all we're really after at the moment, in the beginning process. So anything small, just get it in every 3 hours or so. And then second to that would be after you do this for about 10 to 14 days that I have found, and this goes back to what Tara was saying, is that most people live what I dubbed starving mode. And that's when we eat once or twice a day. So the brain and the human body is extremely smart. It's smarter than we can ever be. And it's the reason that human beings are still here today after X amount of time. That we have subconscious things that take over. So that said, when we eat once a day or twice a day, the body after a couple hours thinks that it's starving. Whether you feel hungry or not, your nervous system and brain are starving. Therefore, the next meal you eat, even if it's the most, say it was fish and broccoli, your body is still going to hold on to those calories because it doesn't know when it's going to eat again. That's its preservation mode, its survival mode. What we want to do is use science and override the starvation mode by constantly keeping our body fed. So after about 10 to 14 days, like I said, the body is extremely smart. It will start to pick up on the fact that
you're going to feed it every couple hours.
Correct. And so what will happen, two things will happen. Your metabolic rate will stay continuing. The body will say, you know what? I know that Jackie's it's 12 o'clock. I know she's going to eat at 3. I don't need to store these calories. I'm going to go ahead and turn my metabolism on, and I'm going to burn them because I don't have fear of starving in the next couple hours. Mm-hmm. But it does take time. And
you will start getting hungry. It will change.
Yeah. So what happens is your metabolism takes on a graph chart like this. Mm-hmm. And the idea is keeping it like this.
Yeah.
And that way what happens is you're burning fat through the day. After about, like I said, 10 to 14 days, your metabolism is running pretty fast to the point where you're actually burning body fat while you're sleeping. That's where we want to be. So like I said, it's a little rough at first, but we need to retrain the body to do what we want to do. And that's what will happen. So again, small meals, just getting something in 5 times a day. Like I said, eat your regular meals, but those snacks will become crucial to keep this process speeding up. So,
cheat day?
Yeah.
Or like a cheat meal?
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. Yeah. So you'd be surprised. The answer is there's a time and place for everything. Especially if you were living in a deficit, like say you wanted to go on a big fat burning journey, you're living in a deficit. So just like I said, the body is smart. As it gets used to wanting to turn on as you keep eating these meals throughout the day, even when the metabolism is running, you get it ramped up so fast, and then you're living in that deficit, right, where you're burning more calories than you're taking in. That's the fat burning zone. It can kind of, after a while, kind of go like, okay,
I'm used to this.
I know what we're doing here. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to go ahead and slow down my metabolism because I know what we're doing. That is when a cheat meal comes in, and you eat this super heavy calorie food,
But meal, not day.
Yeah, you eat this super high calorie. Yeah, and go ahead and, I'm going to tell you, go ahead and make it what you want. I'd still stay away from a bowl of ice cream or a giant cake. But if you wanted to go have pizza, a giant sandwich, whatever, do it. because there's actually a benefit to that. That hits the digestive system, and it goes like, holy moly, what the heck is this? I need to turn all of this back on again. Oh my God, what are we doing here? And it actually re-stimulates your metabolism. So there is an absolute time and place for that. If you're working out daily, or even say 4 or 5 times a week, and you're living in this deficit, you will feel what athletes call flat. And that's where the muscles are not full of glycogen, and that's where you feel weak. You almost like can't even squeeze your muscles. They just almost feel like they're non-existent. That is a sign that you are depleted in the muscle tissue. You need what we call a refeed. Excess calories, excess carbohydrates to refuel the glycogen levels in your muscle. So there's for bodybuilders and athletes and things like that, there's even a purpose for that as well. So like I said,
if you're feeling flat and you want to pump up, have a cheeseburger and flex it out.
Yeah. But you just have to be mindful of the goal. And again, it's a lifestyle thing. You're not, you guys aren't competing in a bodybuilding show in X amount of days where every day matters. Mm-hmm. This is your life. Do your best. Focus on some of the things we spoke about. And if you're going to go out on Friday night, date night, go out with the fellas, go out with the dang fellas, man.
Yeah. It's about balance. I have found, like, if I'm really, really strict for however long, just get burnt out. Like, you have to splurge every now and again.
I agree.
You deserve it.
Yep, I agree. You've all seen it. I do it from time to time. Even when I'm dieting, I'm like, I can't. If I eat another grain of rice today, I'm going to hit somebody.
I need a pizza. Somebody make me a pizza. Yep. Okay, and I do want to touch, for those of you that do not, I think almost everyone here is already on Thrive. But I do want to share this because we believe in this so much. It literally changed everything for us. So this is Thrive. It is a 3-step system that you take first thing in the morning on an empty stomach, and it fills all of your nutritional gaps. So this is, like Daniel was talking about, all of your vitamins, minerals, trace elements, everything that your body needs to function at peak performance. So this is going to help your digestion. It's going to help your mood. It's going to help your energy level, all of it. And it's so simple. These are the capsules that you take first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. I keep these on my nightstand, so when my alarm goes off, even if I don't want to get up, I just grab them, take them, and within 10 or 15 minutes, I'm like, bing. You even still, almost 7 years later, you can feel these babies kick in. So I take that, and then you do this lifestyle mix. This is a ultra micronized shake. So it's broken down to the finest form of every ingredient in here. So your body doesn't have to digest it first before you can absorb it. It's like baby powder. It helps with your digestion. Like, you can see the ingredients on here. It's loaded with just so much good stuff. And it tastes really good. It blends really easy. And then you slap on this DFT. Daniel, what are you wearing? White Label today? And you got that one. And so this is wearable nutrition. This has a time release technology that absorbs through your skin 24 hours in a day. So you put it on in the morning, you go all day long, and it's just like a steady stream of energy with a little side of happy all day long. It makes me feel amazing. It gives me patience with my kids. I was nicer to my husband. Right, honey? Yeah. He's like, yeah.
She was always kind of nice. It was me that had the radical change.
Yeah, this guy had his Keurig on his nightstand. Like, legit, right there. Would not get out of bed, don't talk to me. And I was already a morning person. So when I started thriving and he wasn't, and I'm like, good morning, time to get up. He's like, get out of my face right now. So, yeah, we're glad that he's thriving. So if you guys want information on this, please let us help you. I know you will love it, and it will also help you do all of these things. If you're finding it hard to get yourself started or to make that change, I tell people this is like the easiest diet I've ever done, because when your body's functioning at peak performance, it starts to crave healthier things. You want to drink water. You want to eat healthy. You want to work out. You want to do all the things that you didn't have the energy or didn't want to do before. So If you want information on that, please ask me. We have some awesome deals going on and some coupons for you. So, yeah, with that, does anybody else have any questions? Okay, you in the front. Yes? Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pre and probiotics. Those are the live active enzymes that break down your food. When we don't have enough, the food's not broken down. Your lining of your intestines and stomach is not healthy. So if you could imagine a balloon, that's your stomach and intestines. The way the body works is you eat, it goes inside of the balloon. It doesn't just magically kind of turn into smoke. The digestive enzymes break it down into almost like a liquid, but then it is absorbed through the outside of the stomach and intestines to then go through into the bloodstream. Okay? So if you can imagine that, maybe that wasn't a good enough example, that's what popped into my head, but if you can imagine if you don't have the proper pre and probiotics in your gut, the food's not breaking down into that nice fine fluid. And two, if you had a long time issue of digestive health, it's probably the stomach lining and the intestines linings are not in a good healthy form like a sponge to allow that to go into the bloodstream. So a lot of that is being stuck in your stomach. A lot of people that are bloated all the time, that's a classic, I could diagnose that in a millisecond. I mean, that is literally, we just need to correct the gut. We're not digesting our food properly, and it's not going, and if we're not doing that, none of the good stuff is being used by the body. So that, yeah.
Yeah, so the pre and probiotics are very, very important. I heard once, and this is just a part of life, so I'm going to say it. If you're not pooping, you're not living. Okay? It is so important. Your digestion is so important. Nikki did a Zoom or a Facebook Live the other day with a doctor, and they talked all about probiotics and how important your gut health is. I will urge you to find her on Facebook and watch it because I was like, oh my God, I'm
I missed
it was so good.
Yeah, I missed it.
Really
but
good.
what I would say is that, do you think, even if you were starving in the woods, do you think you could eat your own feces?
No. Ew.
Huh? But literally, do you think that you can? You can't. It'll kill you. So think. No, listen. Think.
Is this a trick question?
No, think. Think about that sitting in your body
Toxic.
for extended period of
Yes.
time. I don't
Yes.
want to make medical claims here, but it's my research and understanding that a lot of illnesses and cancer
Yes.
is caused by that.
Yes.
It damages the cell, and what cancer is damaged cells that release toxins, and they spread to other cells. But like I said, it's not the only thing. There's many things that a human body does that can cause that, but one of the ones that I feel I'm pretty confident on is having all these bad things sitting in your body for a long period of time.
Yeah.
There's even articles written. They say that like 70% of Americans have like 20 pounds of feces sitting in their body, and they don't know it.
True story.
So you think of that. You think of your
And
gut
even if
health,
you're
and you
going
think
to
of
the
that. That's why
bathroom.
I have to paint pictures for myself. Otherwise, I'm like, not that big a deal, in and out. But when I paint these pictures for myself, I have a very clear attachment to them. And so that's why I like to paint pictures and share that with you guys. So, think about that when you think of your gut health, when you think of your bloated, if you're being regular and things like that.
Yep. Good point. Okay. Anyone else? Yes. Yes. You haven't? Okay. So I have like a big bucket of it. I'll just take like a little pinch, drop it in my big gallon of water or whatever I'm drinking for the day. Yeah, just a little bit. And it has 84 minerals in it. It's like something like way back in the day they used to like trade. It's good stuff. No, don't use it. Yeah, yeah. Do what? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You can get it anywhere. Just pink Himalayan salt. And for cramps, Mom, add cream of tartar to your water. Like 1/4 of a teaspoon. It doesn't take much. It's loaded with potassium.
It doesn't taste like anything? So,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
it doesn't
Yeah.
taste like
1/4 of a
anything you don't have
teaspoon.
to worry about.
Like it tasting bad. Yeah. It doesn't, maybe like a little bit, but to me, like it's not enough to be like, not like salt
No,
water,
if
like
it tastes
ocean
salty,
water. No,
if
just
it's
a little
salty,
bit.
it's too much.
No,
Yeah.
but I like salt, so it doesn't bother me at all. But it's not really salty. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. I love it. I love it. It really helps. Okay. Anything else?
I really, really, really hope this helps. They said it's important to me, and it's important that it's instilled in me for whatever reason to get this out to the world as I, see the people walking around, and they have these ailments and struggles, and a lot of them will live their whole life and never know
How to fix it.
or that they could have fixed
Yeah.
it by some just simple wisdom,
Yep.
simple knowledge,
And-
no huge life-changing thing,
Yep.
just some simple, subtle changes
Yep.
in life to get the body working like it should.
Yep. So before we go, I would love to have Paul and Lori come up here and share, because they started their health and fitness journey January 1st and have had amazing results. So I'm going to pass this. Come on up. Come on. Tell everybody what you're doing, what you've implemented.
All right. Howdy do, guys. Well, I just want to start by saying that I feel fantastic. It's only been, what's today? The 18th? 18 days, and I feel a massive change. Mind, body, spirit, all of it. Just a massive change. And it's not just with the Thrive. We have changed everything that we've talked about today. Paul and I have been doing, and
cutting out all the sugar.
all the sugar. I was, before 10 o'clock at night, I'm munching on some Cheez-Its or something. I was only eating like twice a day. It was awful. All the things that he was talking about today, I felt like he was talking about me. I felt attacked, but that's okay. No, I'm totally kidding. Totally kidding. But it was me. It was me before. And I only ate 2 meals a day. I didn't eat breakfast. I wasn't exercising. Definitely wasn't drinking plenty of water. But I changed everything around. And
Switch that up to
like next day, it was just, no, I'm done with this. We have a lot of on both sides, just genetically, just bad stuff going on, and
yeah.
a
No, my
good,
dad was a very heavy-set man, and his whole logic on losing weight was just stop eating.
yeah,
No,
Yeah,
and because of what you explained, the lichen or Lipton, he wouldn't know when to quit eating, and that man would just engorge himself constantly.
where
And
I would
I'm
just,
no
I
different.
just kind of felt if I wasn't eating, hey, guess what? I'm not gaining weight. I'm not gaining. But in reality, it just caused so much more issues and problems. And I've been overweight my whole entire life. And I'm like, something's got to give. Daniel and Tara have tried to help me for years and years. And I'm just like,
I'll listen one day.
I don't know what it is about this time around, but my spirit's in it, and my spirit wasn't in it before. And we are doing all these things, and doing Thrive, doing all 3 steps. And like I said,
5-6 times a day.
it was hard, Jackie. It was hard to get just pack in those. The 3 meals, the 2 snacks. I'm like, I'm not hungry. This is not. No, yes, I'm starving. I'm hungry right now. 8 before I came here. I'm hungry.
We know we have a protein shake waiting for us when we get home.
Yeah, we've been doing
About an hour
protein
later, we
shakes
go to
about
bed. So far,
ahead.
she's lost 15 pounds.
15 pounds and about 10 inches all over. About 10 inches all over.
It- and I'm weird because I've lost 18 pounds, but I've only lost 3.5 inches. It's weird.
Yeah, but it's been great.
It's
And we feel great. I mean, we're keeping up with our boys, spending more time with them. Yeah.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
kind of
Oh,
having
yeah.
a hard time with the
I mean,
no
'cause they're used
sugar
to
and the
junk food
snacks
and-
and goodies and stuff like that. But yeah,
Yeah.
and,
Oh,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah,
I want
yeah.
my Skittles. Like, no Skittles. We're not Skittling it today, but they're watching. And you know, we had fish tonight. We never ate fish before, really. And I was really worried about Evan. He's not very experimental. Gaby's getting older.
He's like
He's
the
being
pickiest
more
eater
experimental
I've
with
ever seen
food.
for a
Evan's just like,
9-year-old,
that
man.
looks weird. I don't know. But he tore it up tonight. He tore it all up. And I'm like, see what's up?
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
He's doing pretty good. He's just.
But we've been doing
He's
great,
learned.
and this has totally changed our lives around. And yeah, we live with our mom, and we do everything together. We work out together, eating healthy together. It's not just us, and we hold ourselves accountable. When we are crying in the middle of a workout, we're, come on, baby, it's okay, you got this.
Right, yeah.
Because I'm going, oh, no.
yes.
It's, we're doing stuff at home. It's a Weight Watchers, like, aerobic workout, and it does strength training, cardio,
And there's 3 steps.
And
There's the light,
low,
moderate,
medium,
heavy.
and high.
We finally.
Like every 7 days, we up it. So right now, we're going into it, and we're already in high impact, and it's killer. Let me tell you, just busting it in the middle of the living room, but it's working. So
Keeping up with it, which is pretty cool.
yeah. And it's like before, it would hit like 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm like, I'm ready for a nap. I'm done with this day. Oh, all the kids are picked up. I'm done. Nope, I'm done. And now I'm like, all right, kids, y'all want to go for a walk? Want to go to the park? Let's go do something. You want to work out? Let's go ride bikes. Let's go do something. It's totally changed our lives around, and we feel fantastic.
Yes.
Oh, I'm so proud of y'all. So proud.
I
Okay,
have one word for you. Actually, 2 words put together, and then I'd just like to close with a prayer if I can. What do y'all think of DeMarcus, Jackie, the rest of you, when you hear the word Christ fit?
Christ fit.
Not CrossFit.
Christ fit.
Y'all think on that one. I think there may be something coming up the pipeline.
Yes, Noah, you in the front. Yes? You have a question, sir?
Huh? Well, we've got a lot of good ideas brewing.
I saw you doing push-ups over there, Noah. You must have been inspired by the speech over here.
I don't know where it would go, but it's a vision really started with Tara and kind of developed just kind of by talking, but just throwing it out there, we can get some feedback. But something that we could do together and inspire each other, and then eventually rolling out to, like, say, an app that people could follow along at home, follow along with workouts, meal ideas, tips, Bible verses, quotes of the day, just
Like
good
mind,
inspirational
body, and
stuff,
spirit. Yeah.
all keep us motivated and whatnot. So that was kind of like the thought process. You guys pray about that and see what may or may not happen. But all right.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, thank you guys for coming out. Really, thank you. It means a lot. Really. All right, guys. Father, we just want to thank you tonight so very much for allowing us to come together, allowing us to speak positive words. We thank you for always keeping us strong, safe, healthy, free of fear, pain, and full of your love and happiness, Father. We ask you to touch us all, each one of us, strengthen our minds, our spirits, and our bodies. We ask you, open our spiritual ears so we may hear you, Father. Open our spiritual eyes so we may see you, and so that we may have the strength to follow what you have destined within us. And give us the mind and the foresight to see the wisdom around us that you give us from all angles, from all people and all opportunities. In Jesus' name we pray.